Ornament.
I'd like to ask him about that.
We can ask him about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you playing the video, or you want us to start? Or you?
Yes, I will play the video. Oh fuck, wrong one.
That's fine.
Just a moment, you just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car.
Sit down inside the car.
Look, I'm under what?
Come on.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
All right, turn it off. Hit the
Have a
video.
look at
That's a good
the
stop
headlock
spot, I
here.
think.
See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis!
Okay.
This is the
Or there.
I can't. It won't let me.
Oh.
Like every time I click it, it okay. Okay. There.
Well, this is going well.
Yeah, it's just going all right. Wait, I thought you told me to stop the video.
I did, but I thought you were. Look, I don't know how none of it worked. I meant I thought you were then going to hit the actual video you meant to. I thought you were going to play the song.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Wait, no, I mean, okay.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Cornbread, but sex they care way too much, but don't give a fuck. They're the liberal rednecks that makes some people upset, but they got 3 big old dicks that you can suck.
You're going to leave all that in, right? That's just going to be the start of the episode.
I was just fine with that guy being the intro this week. That's just me.
Yeah, no. I mean, I am too. But now that you've played the song after that guy, you're just going to roll with all that, right? Well,
Of course.
happy Pygmy Hippo Day. That's what today is. You know that?
No, is that like a teeny tiny hippo?
Hippo. Yep. I didn't know that. I guess I guess maybe if I'd seen them, I thought I'd only ever seen baby hippos.
That what Mooding is?
I thought Mooding was like a baby. I've always thought they were baby hippos, but maybe I've been looking at pygmy hippos this whole time. I don't know.
Because I thought Mooding, it was like, oh yeah, Mooding, what a cute little thing. And then like one day Mooding gonna pull a fucking Siegfried and Roy and just destroy someone's ass.
Yeah, no, yeah. I guess Mooding is a pygmy hippo. Yeah.
Well, that hits. Will it get bigger than it is now?
Pygmy. I thought you guys were saying pick me.
Pygmy hippos. Yeah. Those are hippos that like, I ain't like other hippos.
Exactly.
Hey,
yeah.
Exactly.
You see all these other hippos out there be farting. I ain't like them hippos.
They kind of are like that.
They are.
Why is pygmy hippo Puerto Rican?
I don't know.
That's extra funny because like Puerto Ricans are the least pygmy girls. If you're gonna do stereotypes of all,
Right.
they ain't changing for nobody.
No, that's true. They're not. Although, I mean, I feel like Puerto
They're not
Rican
like
girls.
other girls because they set your stuff on fire and other
I
racisms.
was about to say Puerto Rican girls are definitely the type to be like, you don't want to fuck with a Puerto Rican girl, which is like in its own way a pick me thing. Because like, isn't pick me just basically just saying like, I mean, essentially, I'm not like other girls. Like whatever generalization you have about other girls, I ain't that.
No, I think it's specific. I ain't like other girls because I'm low maintenance. I like sports.
Usually it's because they act like a boy. They're trans.
Yes. Well, no,
trans.
they're pretending to be cool. I mean, look, this is the joke. I don't know what they actually do. I don't even know if it's like necessarily a real thing. The joke is like they pretend to be cool and low maintenance,
Right?
Especially to have women. Like,
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry she's like that. Me, I mean, I just like going out for wings. I would never give you a hard time because you forgot an anniversary.
Well, I know because the term pick me girl, I didn't know what it was until my sister, obviously, and Amber explained it to me because they are, the harbingers of the female culture to me. Like when I don't know something, I ask them. And I'm not going to say the person's name, but they told me, they go, so-and-so is a pick me girl. And like, I immediately got it. I was like, oh, okay, right. This was like the girls that like, they have the bumper sticker that's like, I'd rather wear Justin boots than Gucci.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Shit like that. Right.
And it's like, who are you telling?
Who cares?
Men.
Right.
And that means that you are, in fact, one of those types of girls who's constantly performing.
Exactly. It's like what that pussy do. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares?
I do know what you're saying. Yeah, that's not where I thought we were going, but yeah, I know what you mean.
But it is funny how most of those pick me girls that I know are all super MAGA. like most of them are super MAGA, and it's
Of
like
course. The whole thing is I'll do whatever a man wants.
Right, yeah. You can slap me around, that's
they're,
fine. I
yeah,
don't
right.
mind.
They're all MAGA, but they're
Bro,
also
speaking
just
of-
like they're like, I dip, I fucking drive trucks, and it's like, again, you're trans.
This sounds like a good cop, bad cop song.
It does.
I dip, I drive
trucks. Yeah, but like it's all just like you're trans. You just didn't do the hard part.
Well,
Drew, were you about to say something about a woman getting beat? Because I made a joke like you can slap me around, and you were like, "Speaking of," you got you sounded real excited.
That fucking video of that Papa slapping that MAGA lady
at
that rally.
Yeah, that hit, didn't it?
I've been sending that to everybody. Like,
yeah.
hey, look, in my heart, I wish it was a man he slapped, but it was just nice seeing somebody slap somebody. You know what I mean? It's just nice seeing somebody get slapped.
Yeah, I mean, I made the joke after I threaded it to y'all, which is where I run all my bits by. After I threaded it to y'all, I made the joke on Twitter. I was like, this motherfucker really said to this lady, like, oh, you want it to be the 60s again? Okay, bet. And it actually surprisingly got a lot of likes, and I didn't get much flack for it. But like I put a tweet like right after that was like, for the record, I am not against slapping women, but I'm very pro making jokes about it. And everybody was like, I heard that. You know what I mean? I heard that.
You said you're not against slapping women?
Oh, my bad. Little Freudian slip. I'm not.
Yeah. This is like 2 weeks in a row now where you've come out as pro abuse. This week it's the actual people.
Oh, I do.
And then you tried to like that's our word it. You tried like last week. You're like, I got hit. I'm allowed to want to hit people, which I don't think is true.
Well, let me tell you something else, Drew. I'm sure you don't know because none of us listen to our own shows, but on POA, he doubled down on that exact position the very next day, like angrily doubled down.
And
he was like, listen, I was beat. None of you bitches gave a fuck about that.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm about to do something that y'all would never see coming. I'm about to apologize to that woman specifically, seriously, because she emailed me and I, in my brain, we do a lot of podcasts and we've talked about a lot of stuff. In my brain, I really thought that last week I had told like that whole story of that girl beating me and like punching me in my sleep or whatever. But apparently I didn't. I just made a throwaway to it, and because y'all know about it, you know what I mean? Y'all know about it. So I just made a throwaway but I didn't explain to the audience about it. So when I did the thing on POA, it looked doubly dickhead of me because she sent me an email.
I said that to you I told you, I was like, Corey, this is a whole different show, but people don't even know what you're talking about.
I know that, but she listens to both. But she listens to both shows, which is why she sent me the email.
Obviously, I wasn't there on POA, never been invited, but I do feel like it's odd that what you're saying, or she's saying maybe, is like, well, now that I found out you were beating your sleep, you can have the opinion that women get hit.
No.
A strange place for you guys to meet in the middle.
No. That's not even the thing. Like, she sent me this long email. She was like, you acted like on putting on airs that I knew this whole story when I don't. She said, but if that's all true, she said, it does change my perspective or whatever. And I messaged her back. I was like, I'm so fucking sorry. I said, that is my fault. Because sometimes I'll just assume, we just get on here and we be talking. I assume people know stuff. And of course, I went into detail about the story and in bit form. Of course, I was writing bits in the email, told her I was sorry and that was 100% my fault. And I take accountability for it. That is 100% my fault. So you've heard it here for the very first time. I was wrong. I apologize. That was incorrect of me.
I'm so intrigued by this. It changed her perspective to what?
Right. I'm totally with Drew on this, by the way.
What you went through gives you a certain amount of license to make certain jokes that maybe I can't. But I don't understand that what you went through means you're allowed to say sometimes you gotta hit a bitch.
Right. Because
she's saying if they hit you. No. You have the right to say
I'm doing the same thing to you right now that I did to her. I forgot that I didn't give you the context of people were going through in the comments talking about Corey talking about abuse this, Corey talking about abuse this. And my angle was like, I literally talked about how I physically got beat and no one gave a fuck about that. Like nobody said, "Oh, damn, Corey, I'm sorry you went through that." Right? You know what I'm saying? I was like, "That's weird to me."
You didn't tell anybody.
Because I didn't fucking tell anybody. Right? Because I didn't tell anybody. You know what I mean?
So
but in my brain, I had, and I was literally looking through that, and I was like, so like. I can get beat physically, and no one says a fucking word. But me talking about this fictitious beat, and everybody's, But like, yeah, I totally just fucked up. Like I dropped the ball. Like I just made myself look like a fucking idiot, which I am.
But we keep saying, like Drew keeps saying, it's like because you were hit, that means you're allowed to say that sometimes you got to smack a bitch or whatever.
No. But I said emotionally.
That's exactly what I was about to say. But that ain't what even happened. Corey was saying that emotional abuse is fine. I mean,
I said there's nuance.
Fine, but
I said there's nuance.
Right.
I said, hey, like hitting a woman, there's no nuance to that. It's like you either hit a woman or you didn't. Emotional abuse, I think you got to have a jury of 12. You know what I mean? To determine, what the fuck did she say to make you say "fuck you, bitch"? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I
mean, quite literally, it was brought up because I brought up, I think,
Zach Brown and Chicken Fry Lady.
Yeah. That was literally my introduction to the topic. Was like, look, if someone's like, this dude emotionally abused me, I'm down to listen. And I've said this too before. I think he did. I think Zach Brown broke her phone and told her she ought not wear that on the red carpet or whatever. I just happen to think she went after that dude in an attempt to exploit him, and this happened to be the way she could exploit him. It's his own fault, though.
Right. And all I said was, because there's a lot of people, I mean, not everyone, but there's a lot of people that are like, emotional abuse, physical abuse, it's all the same thing. There's, it's the same type of dude. And I'm just saying, like, if a woman says some bullshit to you, it don't matter what she says to you, you shouldn't punch her in the face. But there is a line of, if she says a bunch of stuff to you, yeah, you can absolutely emotionally abuse her. You know what I mean? Like, because she's emotionally abusing you.
You should just leave.
That's true that you could just leave. All I was trying to say was they are different things, and I'm willing to hear I'm not willing to hear Chris Brown's side of the story. I seen the Rihanna picture. You know what I mean?
My honest take on this, and is not just a cop out. Like genuinely, if we're gonna not make jokes and shit on Brianna Chicken Fry, which is what I want to do, or slap Corey around because he clearly needs it, more of it. But like, if we're not gonna make jokes. I have no idea. My marriage is good. I have no idea where the gray area lies in this
me
stuff.
too.
My take the whole time has been, when you are an influencer who has set out to get famous and thrown your friends under the bus to do so, I'm going to put on my Will See goggles when you start talking about, this guy was abusive to me. No, he didn't hit me.
I would like to say though, I mean, like, obviously, we kid a lot and I kid a lot, but I'm genuinely sorry for what I did. Like, I'm not sorry for the jokes that I made. I'm sorry that I thought that I mentioned something, didn't, and then on another show lost my mind. Like, I'm genuinely sorry, and I was in the fucking complete wrong.
You gaslit our entire audience, which is emotionally abusive.
I agree. Couldn't agree more.
And now you're apologizing, and I'm not sure I believe you.
That's fine too.
A pattern of behavior. This bit's not working. I want out of it.
Okay, I'll let you out of it. Here's a fun fact: Pygmy hippos can run almost as fast as Usain Bolt. Did you know that?
What?
Are you saying Pygmy? Are you saying Pygmy hippos?
Pygmy hippo, the little hippos. The little
what does
cute
that mean?
How little?
What does what mean?
Well, how little?
I actually meant almost as fast as Usain Bolt. So, like, how close?
18.5 miles per hour. And I guess Usain hits like 20 or something like that.
That is
I
insane.
thought he hit like 21, but that's
either way, for a fucking little ass pig looking hippo, that's pretty good. How big? They're about 3 feet tall.
That's correct, bro.
And
imagine Brad Williams and Usain. Imagine Brad Williams and Usain Bolt racing. Like, that's insane.
It's close.
And I mean, we all know that hippos be fat, but like they're 3 feet tall, but it says they can weigh between 350 and 600 pounds.
What?
They ain't
so it's
3
like
foot tall. Then you got bad info. Come on.
This is the San Diego
How?
Zoo's website that I'm
don't
looking
make
at.
no sense. 3 feet tall, 6
Well, they
feet
can be
long?
5 feet long.
That's like if Warren Sapp and Work Done had a baby. That's insane.
3
show
feet by
me-
5 feet is like, I mean, that would be a big ass hog. I guess it's just a little hippo because
And
y'all
that
ever seen
motherfucker-
you ever seen a regular hippo in person? I mean, they
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
as hell.
But you're
So,
saying that size of one can run almost as fast as Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
bro,
evidently.
imagine getting hit by that motherfucker.
right? Yeah.
Real quick, I paddled on waters with hippos in them, and the guides were cool about the Crocs, but they were like very like, hey, not fucking around. Do not fuck with these hippos.
Yeah.
And we got kind of close to a hippo family, and I started shaking our little on top of water kayak to fuck with this girl Katie because she was a bad person, and she hit me in the back of the head with a paddle, and it was very funny.
You
Katie
should've
did,
emotionally
or
abused
like a
her.
guide.
Katie did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Hey,
scared her.
hey, do you think that's a sort of like how in Yellowstone they actually warn you more about the buffalo than they do the bears, and their reasoning is that like they assume that you know not to fuck with a bear, but people think
Yes.
that buffalo because like
I've
buffaloes
heard
more buffaloes kill people than
so do
bears
hippos.
because
More-
people go up to buffalo because people go
hippos-
up to
Hippo
them.
is the
Deadliest animal in Africa. Yeah.
Right,
But part of the reason why is what you're saying. No
Yeah.
one's fucking with a lion. They sometimes are trying to pet baby hippos.
right,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could see that sort of, but a buffalo, you're like, I mean, they can charge, they could be in big groups or whatever, and they're big, so they could run you over, but they're like, they're like wild cows or something in people's,
got
but
them
like
horns,
a fucking
though.
hippo, dude. Like, that big ass mouth, they're huge. They're like
Huge.
fucking water tanks with that massive
they're
mouth.
hungry.
Like I would not. They're hungry all the time. Like
They're double down hungry.
I would
KFC.
not. I don't feel like I need to be told not to fuck with a hippo. But
No,
like,
but
But
people need
you
to
are
be-
a careful person, and you're not white. You're white trash.
right,
You don't understand the confidence of true whiteness. And
right.
if
When it
you
comes
ever
to
get there,
animals, yeah,
Lord help us all if you ever get there. You might be president.
taking
But
pictures with them and stuff.
another thing I wanted to note about the science of it, I think it's also that they're relentless. Like
Yeah.
if you piss a lion off, it will bite you, but it might not kill you because it don't want to eat you. But like the hippo wants you dead once it decides you're its enemy. You have to die. You or it have to die, and it's gonna be you. It's not like if you run away, they're like, "Thank you for leaving my area." They will come after you. You have to keep running away.
Right. They're territorial, and you just fucked up their block, and they got to send a message to all the other hippos that they ain't no bitch.
They ain't no
It'd be
hippo
wild.
bitch. Ain't no pygmy hippo.
Need to make a horror movie about, like, instead of Jason Voorhees, it's just a pissed off hippo chasing
would
somebody. A couple other fun facts. Tire mogul Harvey Firestone of Firestone Tires,
Also a great Broadway producer.
who owned a rubber plantation in Liberia. I'm sure no crimes against humanity happened there. Who owned a rubber plantation in Liberia, once gave President that's relevant because that's where pygmy hippos are native to. He once gave President Calvin Coolidge a pygmy hippo named Billy, okay? And Billy is the papaw. It says ancestor, but I'm saying papaw. Billy is the papaw of almost every single pygmy hippo currently living in America, like
He's
in
the
zoos.
fuck
papaw
outta here.
pygmy.
Yep.
So he's like Genghis Pygmy.
Genghis Pygmy Hippo, yeah. And this is another fun fact that I'm not a huge fan of. They got real thin skin, and that helps them stay cool in the humid rainforest. However, the thin skin can also cause the hippo to dehydrate quickly in the direct sun. So when that happens, its skin oozes out a pink fluid in like beads of sweat, but it's pink colored, and this fluid is called blood sweat.
Ooh.
And it helps so they sweat blood. It's not literally blood, but it looks like they sweat blood, and that's not cute. I mean, they're
No,
generally
it's not.
very cute, but sweating
Can we
blood
do one
ain't
more? Can we go back and do one more joke on the ancestors?
it. Yeah.
Go ahead.
He's the Adam of them, but the Bible says it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and little Stephen. All right, guys.
So I would have always assumed that they had very thick skin. They look like a thick-skinned creature.
That's a
But
good
that's 'cause
point.
they look like
That's all
rhinos,
just
actually.
that's all just fucking muscle under there, dog. They're just
And-
yoked.
and fat.
Well, yeah, fat.
But I think you think that because rhinos have thick skin, and it feels like they're cousins, even though
Do they though?
rhinos.
I think they
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Okay.
They're basically dinosaurs, dude.
They are.
Right. And remember, we said this on here not that long ago. But yes, rhinos they're like armored fucking land tanks from eons ago. But I saw a video not long ago at all where a bull elephant with tusk absolutely bodied a fucking rhino, like without even trying.
Yeah.
Like it was
Dude,
wild. I mean, it
Elephants
fucked
are
it up.
benevolent, or benevolents, or
Yeah.
they would absolutely be on that list to top the hippos and the lions. You can't fuck with elephants.
No.
They just aren't killers as much. Sometimes they do it for revenge. The scariest I ever got in Africa was a white rhino following our Jeep, and the guy
Trying to pull
was
you
like
over.
backing away, and the guide was like, "We're gonna be fine. We need to go slow and continue moving." And somebody goes, "Do you think he could turn this car over?" And it was almost like he wasn't thinking because he was concentrating on driving. He was
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, they do it all the time." He goes, but like, and I was like, "Yeah, you already said it, buddy." We were being stalked by a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says they got pygmy hippos at the San Diego Zoo. But I've been to that
Show us
zoo,
the
and
picture.
I don't remember seeing them. Now I'm upset.
Well, it sounds like they looked like regular hippos.
That's
got
what
loose with the word pygmy.
That's actually
These
what
are
I was.
pygmies that are 5'9", and then some woman was like, "Look at little pygmy hippo."
That's actually what I was thinking. I was like, maybe I saw a damn pygmy hippo and thought it was just a regular hippo because again, 3 foot by 5 foot is actually you could see that and think that's a juvenile regular hippo. It's not like potbelly pig status, which even those
Like
are
what
also
Mooding
bullshit.
like what Mooding be looking like. Hey,
Right, but again,
here's
those are just baby ones, I guess. Which I mean, people are watching, they're going to want to see. These
that's
are all
Mooding, ain't it?
That's a full-grown pygmy.
that's Moo Dang right there. See, these are all like babies. I think maybe this one is full grown right here.
Yeah, show me that full-grown. Blow it up. Wow.
Yeah, but I need like a little black kid to stand beside it for
Right,
scale.
you do need scale. Bunch
You
of
mean an
bananas.
African? For a second, I was like, "What?"
No, I mean it don't have to be African. I just prefer it
Yeah,
representation.
no, I get it now. My mom was in San Diego. There we go. There's a mama and a baby.
Yeah. It says
I
that
just don't see that
looks
way
like
in
that
6
picture
months,
is.
Maybe I'm stupid.
It says that baby, according to this headline, that baby's like almost 6 months old in that picture. So gives you a little bit of an idea. But
this ain't got nothing to do with hippos, but it's an animal fact I just learned, and I'll shout it out. I learned it from the Dollop. Me and you talked about dressage on POA, and you may have said this, but I don't remember if you did. And if you didn't, I really want to say it right now. Do you know the original use? Because Drew, you know what dressage is, like where they make the horse crip walk and stuff. Like that.
Oh,
like
yeah,
in the Olympics.
yeah.
Do you know what the original use for why dressage? But like now it's for sport, but it used to be a war tactic. Do you know what it was?
No, did it have anything to do with the Arabians?
They would the dudes over there. They would sometimes knock a dude down, but they weren't sure if they had killed him, so they taught the horse to like stomp on its fucking head. Like they taught the horse to be doing all the crip walking, so it like crushed their skull. And now we just got like little teeny tiny women doing it, and Kevin Hart being like, "Damn, look at that horse!" You know what I mean?
I wonder if dressage and triage have the same root words. Triage is like where the ER treats you for you're dying. I wonder if dressage is like related to that, of like, step on his wound, put your hoof in his wound.
Yeah.
Is it triage like a categorization of exactly how dire your situation is? Like you come into the hospital, and triage is them being like,
"This don't hit."
The level to which this don't hit, and what that means for you, right?
And what I'm saying is, what if dressage is like, he ain't the triage yet, but if we'll dressage his ass, we'll get him there.
I wonder how many redneck doctors have fucked around and went, phew, Lord God, like to a patient. You know what I mean? Like, it's
You
happened.
seen this?
God damn, boy, come in here.
You seen
Y'all
that?
believe that?
Y'all seen that old redneck doctor? Well, he's definitely an old country doctor. It was like a very viral clip. He's I think it's a black lady that he's like examining or something like that. And she's like, "What you gonna give me, doctor?" And he goes, "Baby, I can't give it to you." Or he's like, "You can't handle it, baby," or something like that. He's got a real deep, very white voice, but he's a white guy.
Yeah,
And he's like, "I don't know what to tell you."
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what he says, but it's funny. He's old as fuck. I just saw there's a 102-year-old practicing neurosurgeon. How y'all feel
Nope.
about that? Yep.
Nope.
Yeah,
Get
that's
out.
what
Ain't no
I
way,
thought
dog.
too. That's what I thought too. I mean,
Absolutely
that's your
not.
brain, dog.
I'm sorry,
I don't
dude, but ageism
I
is a
bet-
thing that should be in some fields.
Well, it's funny
I
because it goes
bet
both
in
ways with
order
doctors,
to-
in my opinion. You
Yeah.
don't want them young or super old. You want
Right.
them my age.
Yeah.
I
They
bet-
too old to hit still, but they haven't completely gone brain mushed yet. So
Mhm.
I bet that it's like a contract thing. There ain't no way they're letting him do any of that shit. I bet it's like
well.
he owns part of the business, and like
He-
if he's not practicing, he can't keep collecting that check. So he just goes
Nah.
into the room, writes some shit down, and then they usher him into another room.
I think he's like a figurehead / mascot / minor celebrity because I found out about him because he did an AMA on Reddit, and there's like a book about him, and there's a documentary about him coming out and shit like that. So
Hey,
I don't know how much actual medicine he still practices, but I don't know. On that Reddit AMA, they were asking him like brain questions, and he answered, in a
Speaking of-
seemingly knowledgeable way. He didn't seem. It'd be funny if they were parading him around and he was all mush brained, pathology about. You know what I mean?
dude, speaking of which, neuroscientists and mush brains and stuff, we haven't been political this whole time, and we don't have to be. I'm genuinely just asking a question. What the fuck happened to Ben Carson? Like,
Huh?
Ben
What do you mean?
Carson, what he be doing?
Oh,
He's
Drew.
a doctor.
Yeah, I know he's a doctor, but like, wouldn't you have thought that dude would have made like a bigger splash? Like, he made a big splash in the first
No,
Trump term.
No, he's
And-
black.
Yeah, that's true. But then
Yeah.
he just sort of went away. I guess I kind of respect it. Like, he went back to being a doctor instead of just being on like the CPAC circuit or something.
Well, apparently,
Nobody
they
wanted him
always
on that circuit.
Yeah.
said that as a doctor, he's like one of the most brilliant ones in his
They
field
made a movie
that's
about
ever
him.
lived. Yeah,
Cuba
right.
Gooding
Like,
Jr. played his ass in a movie.
right. That's he's a wild ass case because
I
like
know.
everybody that knows anything about that, it's cardiac medicine, right? Like heart doctor shit, and people are always
Yeah.
like, they're like, this dude is the Michael Jordan
Yeah,
and Michael Jackson combined of heart
that's
doctors.
part of why I'm
and
asking.
and then for that guy to somehow also be a colossal dumbass about just everything
HUD.
else is like
To be in charge of HUD and
is
not
so
like
wild. Like,
Well, he's
Yeah.
not a colossal dumbass so much as he's an insane narcissist. Do you
Yeah,
remember
crazy
he like
person.
made up all those stories about like
bears,
fighting bears, or whatever
bears.
his age
Yeah,
years old
you used to
and
have a
stuff?
bit about that, didn't you?
Yeah. Around that time, I was talking about how you could tell he grew up around white kids because he'd never been clowned by black dudes. That's what happened.
Right.
He got back to
Yeah.
a room full of white kids after a summer and was like, "Yo, I fought a bear," and they were like, "All right, I guess we
course
gotta
he
believe
did.
him. He's black."
And then you did the part where you were with the black. If he did it with black, because this motherfucker said he fought a bear.
Mhm.
I remember
Shit.
that.
And it's so true and it's so funny. But
I
like,
did that on mushrooms at the Scruffy City
Yeah,
Conference.
I know.
I was there. It was
I
like
know, and that's
fucking
the
1 in the
hardest-
morning.
it's hardest I've ever laughed. That set murdered me. It was so funny. I had a similar bit that wasn't about Ben Carson or nothing, but it was about politicians and how like the politician playbook has been, they haven't updated it since 1776 or whatever. And part of that playbook is just say whatever, it don't matter. Like, you say whatever and they'll believe you and there's no repercussions because people don't be looking stuff up. But like politicians now still be doing that even though we got Wikipedia and like cameras and shit. You know what I mean?
Trump broke that though. Trump broke
Right,
something.
right. But like
I mean, it didn't work for Carson again. I think because he's black, and he
Right.
was lying to Republicans.
But like, Peter Jennings took a page out of that tool book too, like, and it worked for him for a long time. And then the goddamn dude from the league, like, he did too. Like, there was a time when like you really could just say some shit and it was like fine as long as a true investigative journalist didn't have a vested interest in figuring out if you were full of shit. You totally just got away with it. You know what I mean?
Dude, people still do that.
I know. I'm just saying but now it's so much easier to catch them.
Well, if that's what's holding you back, look, let me go ahead and be your lawyer and tell you, don't let it, son. Make up whatever you want.
Well, I do on stage, but I tell people this is
do
half,
it
this is a half truth.
Because here's the thing: if you're getting ruined, that's because you made it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just like we kept talking about. Like, God, I wish we get canceled because that means that we've hit a certain.
You've hit, yeah. Like we can't be canceled because we're nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That girl during Me Too, there was that girl I went to high school with who got on my page and tried to like it was some bullshit, just so everybody knows. But it wasn't even the accusation was like not that bad. If you got, right. But anyway,
it was like Trae laughed at me at a party because
it said here's
while
what
in blackface.
No, I said
DMX.
It was like my buddy was there who was back from the Marines, and I was doing this whole in front of everybody thing. It was like yeah, jokingly saying she should support the troops by sucking his dick or whatever.
Yeah,
I've like support the troops. Yeah, right. And it's like and so yeah, that's what even when at the time it was, that's what I'm saying. Even at the time when it was happening, I was like, well, it hits because I'm being funny in this story that she's trying to get me in trouble.
Matter of fact, tell everybody. Tell everybody that shit. Go on a podcast and say I said that. Everybody be like, God damn, he really is funny.
Yeah, but anyway. But, it just went absolutely nowhere because I don't hit. Is the point I'm trying to make.
It might have also gone absolutely nowhere because everybody's like,
okay.
He was kidding around when you guys were in high school.
Yeah.
And didn't actually do anything. It was just words. And also, it was a trope.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's what people would have been mad about. We looked into this. Turns out, stolen valor, Trae. Way to go.
He was
tried
a
to get this girl to suck some dude's dick, not a guy who murdered babies in Kazakhstan.
Well, here's the other part that but like, fuck it. It was years ago. It doesn't matter. It ain't about me. It's about her. She did some crazy shit.
He did suck his dick.
No, she just cock blocked the shit out of me with this other girl at that same party. Is what she did.
Was it because of this?
Trae said, "Man, fucking suck my dick."
Yeah, right. Actually, Corey, that's a very good question. Like, I can't remember if I then did that. I don't remember which thing was retaliatory.
Like, which came first, the chicken or the tree getting his dick sucked?
Right. Like, I don't remember if she did that because I had done that or if I did that because she had done that. I don't remember, but I know that both things did happen.
Well, there you go.
Night. Yeah.
Offsetting penalties, replay first down.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Well.
No problem.
I'll tell you guys a story.
Go ahead.
Is it halftime? Do we need to do a commercial?
I don't know.
I don't know if we
do need to take just a little break for station identification. So we will be right back right after this. Yeah, we're back.
All right. So I was in New Orleans and I went to this bar like away from my house with my buddy Miller, and we walked in and I was like, I think I recognize that girl. I just realized since I haven't been on here in a while, I haven't told you the first story. So I met this girl just on the block when I first got down there during Mardi Gras. She and her roommate were on their way down to the quarter and they were very drunk. And I was walking Rozzy around. It's very strange for a woman to just like openly hit on you when you have your kid, but this drunk big girl was just doing that. So she like drunkenly is like, "Oh my God, you're so cute. What's up? I'm your neighbor." This and that. That night I'm walking Mick, and I see two women like struggling to get out of a car, and I had seen them leave in an Uber, but this was definitely like a personal vehicle. So I'm doing that thing of like, I think these people need help, but also it's 11 at night and I'm a dude. Like, you can't approach strangers
Right.
Hey, need a little help with that drunk girl, you know?
This happens to me in the park a lot. When a woman can't get her stroller fixed, I'm like, well,
Right.
guess what? You're just going to be out here with a bad stroller, bitch, because I'm not stopping.
So I'm looking at this situation, and then I realize it's her, and I remembered her name, and I said her name, and she looked up, and I was like, do you need some help? And she's like, yes. So I ended up carrying her roommate into her house. And, like, she's, like, crying. It's a very odd thing because she's clearly hammered, but she's not, like, floppy hammered. Like, I think she might have been having a panic attack. It was very strange, right? So I had told that story to Miller. I think we'd gone by her house. I just got done telling him the story. I was like, oh, this house, like 3 weeks ago, I carried this girl in there. And we walk in the bar, and I'm like, holy shit, there's the other girl right there. So we started talking to her. She was with another friend. Miller's single, so he's like, you know, running game on both of them. I'm just sitting there talking. This dude is like staring at me. I'm at like, this dude keeps looking at me. I'm talking. This dude keeps looking at me. I'm talking. And then I finally go, Miller, dude, I think that guy's just staring at me. And she goes, that's my ex.
Ooh.
And I'm like, oh, okay, great. Like, I got that going on or whatever. And a few minutes later, she's like, oh, he texted me. And she's kind of making fun of him, you know, how girls do. Like, oh, he's saying this. Can you believe that? And then she goes, he says he knows you. And I was like, what? I don't know that guy. He says he's a fan of yours. So now my brain's like, oh.
No.
Like, this dude, I thought he was jealous. And I was like, fuck this prick. But it turns out he was looking at me like, is that him? Go ahead.
That's the only time that's been the best scenario.
It's not over, but go ahead.
Well, hold on a second. There's a that's a Schoolboy Q lyric. And I'm trying to find from the song There He Go. That's what made me think of.
There he go.
It says her boyfriend got me paranoid. Try sneaking up on me and I'm making noise, but what I failed to understand, I'm the motherfucking man, ran into him, he's a fan, goddamn. And then the chorus starts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish
the song hits real hard, by
Q.
the way, if you guys don't know it.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Wish I was Schoolboy Q, because here's the rest of the story.
Yeah, great. All right.
Well, she's hammered. And so she's letting me see all the texts when he's not looking or whatever. He starts dogging me. Like, it was jealous. He, like, thinks that I'm hitting on her or whatever.
The fat one hits harder.
He's like, no, he goes, I enjoyed his book a lot. He's doing bits from it right now on you.
What?
And he starts, like, basically, I think he heard me say the phrase Dolly Parton hits. That's the only thing I could fathom. I was like, he's, like, accusing me of running bits? What do you mean? She's like, I don't know. That's what he says. He keeps going, like, oh, he can't help it. Like, wish he could have come up with some new material. The book's pretty old.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So she's like, what do I do? I'm like, let me see the phone. So I start texting
Are you
back,
still in the same room with this guy this whole time?
Yeah, it's a pretty big bar, though.
And this is the friend of a girl that you helped.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Well, I helped her. The girl that I carried into the house, she wasn't on Earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
She was trying to figure out how to drag her friend in and couldn't. So really, I helped her. I made a 10 problem reduced to a 5.
Yeah,
like got her into the bed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I start texting him, joining in. I'm like, oh my God, he's talking about his wife. It's clearly a bit. Have you heard this one? And the dude's like, oh yeah, I know that one. That's from this special. I just like, I'm walking him through it. But then I started flipping it like, I don't know. They are pretty funny. I think I might buy the book. And because he left. At some point he leaves. And then she gives me the phone and I start texting him like, I think I'm going to buy the book. Do you know this joke? The dude, like, he's getting annoyed. He's like, why don't you just come hang out with me at this other bar? I don't know. I'm having a pretty good time here.
Where's your book, motherfucker?
Yeah. I didn't want to go too far with it, but I told her and she said not to, which makes me think she wants to get back with him. I was like, listen, where this ends is I'm going to tell him you're coming home with all of us and my wife, and we're going to have an orgy. And I'm going to just keep going with that. And she was like, Nah, and I was like, yeah, you still might want to fuck him later. That's what that's about. But that was my there's no climactic ending, unfortunately. That's the end of my. I thought this dude was jealous. Then I was like, no, he's a fan. And then it turns out he was flaming me super hard because he was jealous.
It's both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It was a good day.
Because it just hits for me because I'm assuming these people are around our age.
Yeah.
I.e. not 55.
Right. Otherwise,
65.
Drew would have beat his motherfucking ass.
No,
Well,
I just you know what I'm saying.
I know what
Yeah,
you
for
mean.
sure.
Because
Yeah.
we're used to 60 and 70-year-old fans on the internet telling us not to make jokes and when we were in high school and that we should be. But here's my thing about that. He might be worse. I mean, that's not the kind of fan like that. That sucks too. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude knew all my jokes.
Yeah.
Or pretended to, and was just shitting on all of them in an attempt to get laid. And my genuine feeling, and I don't know if he's listening, I don't know if he's that big of a fan. My genuine feeling, David, use me in any way you can to get your dick sucked, dog. Like, make fun of me, whatever you need to do. I hope that you continue to get laid by pretending that I'm doing my bits at the bar.
That's so amazing. What bits were you doing for real?
Yeah, I was doing the one. Again, my only thing I can think of, someone brought up Dolly Parton, and then we were having a discussion about her. The only thing I can think of is we have a pretty large section of the book about Dolly. There were no, like, bits. There's no Dolly bit, but that's the only thing I can think of.
It's so funny how people, civilians in this sense, people that don't know comedy, like, interpret, like, what a bit is or, like, when you're rehashing a bit. Because I'm sure I've told you this story one time that this dude came up to me one time after a show, and he was like, hey, good show. I liked it better when Ron White did it. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, you did all of Ron White's material. And I was like, first off, I've seen every bit Ron White has ever done, and we don't even have the same style or any. And I just happen to have my joke book, and I wasn't gonna let it go. I was like, hey, I got every joke in here. I got it. We'll go through it. You tell me which one was a Ron White. Well, he's like, no. I mean, I'm just, you were talking about drinking a lot, and I was like, yeah, I had some material on drinking. He's like, yeah, well, that's like Ron White's whole thing. And I was like, that's it. Because I talked about drinking, I stole Ron White's stuff, and he's like, yeah, well, he's like the drinking comic. And I was like, oh, you just don't understand what anything means. So, yeah, to that guy, you just saying Dolly Parton, he's like, here he goes again.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's pretty hilarious, running my bits. I don't know. It annoyed me, obviously, because I was like, of all the things to be accused of, running my bits on a gal to get laid, I was doing literally no part of that.
Right.
But
yeah, like, in what world does Dolly Parton getting brought up have to be for any other reason than that Dolly Parton hits?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if I was trying to get laid,
single again, by the way,
bring up Dolly Parton. That's a good way to get laid.
That's true.
She's on the market finally after all these years.
Yeah, that's
Rest
true.
in peace, Carl.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
Man.
That's what the fuck we were talking about. Was Carl being dead?
Dude,
Yeah.
Kenny Rogers died at such the wrong time, dude. Such the wrong time.
Dude, whatever. That's what we were talking about. I just remember that's what got brought up. And then we were talking about how there's like the rumor in the South of them being poly and all that. None of that's in the book. We didn't put in our book that there's a rumor in the South that Dolly Parton and her man are swingers. I don't think we did.
Because we don't know, because we don't deal in rumors when it comes to Dolly Parton. We would never do
Not
that.
in print.
Not in exactly. By the way, speaking of, I don't know if we talked about this, but like, I was learning a little bit more about her husband. I mean, everybody knows he was like, famously. No, I won't say famously a recluse, but like he wasn't about that like Hollywood life. He didn't care to be, arm candy or whatever. But like, dude, it like goes even further. Like, not only that, but like he had like a sawmill business that he like had when him and Dolly Parton got together, and he never gave it up, and he kept physically working at it. And like he, obviously they never needed the money, but he was like, this is what I do. A man works, and like he still did all the labor and all that shit. And sometimes he would have to go to Dollywood with Dolly because there was like a movie premiere or something. And until he got into the theater, he wore a bag over his head so that even if there were pictures taken, he would just have a bag over his head because he just didn't want to have anything to do with it. And I was like, that fucking guy did all that shit, bagged Dolly Parton for 70 years or whatever. Like, as much of a legend as Dolly is, the only person that comes close is that motherfucker. Like, that's
Carl,
amazing.
dude.
Yeah, dude.
Fucking
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Andy, you guys will enjoy this. Andy has told me a version of that, but with the like, don't that hit? I'm like, yeah, a guy who don't give a fuck, who's just gonna like work and not try to be in the spotlight. And I was like, you could get one of them, Andy. He's gonna back the fucking blue and stand with Israel, but by all means, girl, walk down the street and fucking get you one right now.
Right, he's the only one that hit.
I love a damn you don't know how good you got it, bitch story. You know,
Dude,
always a big fan of those. Did y'all ever fuck with Yacht Rock?
Ever? You mean still?
Okay.
It's my number one on. If you go to my Spotify year end, like every single thing is like Crisscross and like the Doobie Brothers and
Really?
you know. Oh, dude, yeah,
I'm
I
not
love
surprised by that. You definitely have a very Yacht Rock, aura to
It's
you.
peaceful.
But at the same time, I've known you for like ever, and I don't think I've ever been around you when Yacht Rock has been playing. I don't think.
Well, that's because when we're all together, we're
talk
playing
about
stuff. Yeah, well, yeah, you don't talk about it. It's like Fight Club, but like when we're all
I'm saying
together
we have talked about it.
On
I
the
didn't
show,
know.
we've talked about it.
we probably have, but the thing is,
I
is
just
like,
watched a documentary about it, is why I'm bringing it up. I was stuck on a plane for 10.5 fucking hours because of storms in Atlanta on Sunday.
It's on HBO, right? I've got it on
an
my
HBO documentary about Yacht Rock, and I've
got it on my to-do list. Well, the reason that it's never like come up when we were riding in the car together is because like I like so many genres of music that I also like the genre, like love, and more so. Like I'm more like Turnpike Troubadours, Jason Isbell, Drive By. Like I like those things more, and that's what we all like. So like I'm not gonna be like turn off this Sturgill so I can listen to fucking. Do you like pina coladas? You know what I mean?
Right.
But like when I'm, when it's the summertime and I'm playing golf and I got my headphones on, like oftentimes it's Yacht Rock because it's just, it's easy listening, fun stuff. And I'll tell you what really got me back into Yacht Rock was James Gunn's selections of the Marvel, the playlists.
I'm glad you brought that up. I feel nuts. I feel like we had a Yacht Rock period on the WellRED tour, vis-a-vis James Gunn, specifically Brandy. I feel like there was a solid chunk of 1 year of the
Did
tour.
he just disappear for you?
God
Okay.
cut me out because he didn't like me telling the truth.
Well,
I don't even know if you guys can hear me.
But is he back?
Am I back?
We lost you right when you said vis-a-vis Brandy.
Yeah, Brandy, you're a fine
and
girl.
I think
What's
you're
the name of
right.
that one?
It's called
Brandy.
I think it's called Brandy.
It's called Brandy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you're right. We were listening to that.
I think we went through a thing.
It was, I didn't think about that even being Yacht Rock at the time, because it was from, it was like part of the zeitgeist because of James Gunn and those movies being huge.
Yeah, it very much is Yacht Rock.
I feel like
I know. That song's about boats,
yeah,
sailors. And
it's
shit.
one of the most Yacht Rock
songs
in
in
all
a harbor town. It's fucking.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I never thought of that as being like a Yacht Rock period, but I guess it was. But we didn't. I still don't think we like talked about it on here or nothing, did we? Or maybe like briefly,
like the etymology of it and like all that. Probably not because we hadn't watched the documentary.
Again, I've seen the documentary, and so this is why I know. Like I don't remember us ever really talking about like Michael McDonald, for example. Right?
Yeah, dude, that guy blows my mind.
He's the guy.
He's the guy.
And him really and like Kenny. I think I did talk about Kenny Loggins once because Kenny Loggins is wild too. Because
he's different.
Everybody knows how Kenny Loggins is, but like he very much faded. he ain't got the status of other like old rock stars or whatever, but you talk about a motherfucking run and also not just a run, but a pivot. Like he had Yacht Rock died. He was in Loggins and Messina. He's one of the top guys in Yacht Rock.
Loggins and Messina rules, by the way.
Yacht Rock effectively dies like disco did, and then he pivots immediately into movie soundtracks and makes some of the
exclusive blockbuster movie soundtrack.
Literally the biggest soundtrack songs that have ever been made. This motherfucker made like a string of them in a row in the 80s. Dude, it's just fucking wild.
Like I would say that like the thing associated the most with Caddyshack is his song. Mm-hmm. Like the thing
that's also true for Footloose. That's also kind of true for Top Gun. I mean, Top Gun sort of transcends Highway to the Danger Zone, but it's still
right.
Ghostbusters is that's Ray Parker or something like that.
Either fucking way, man. Like Caddyshack rules, but like I'm all right. That was one of the songs. That was one of the few
Ray
songs
Parker Jr.
That was one of the few songs that he did. Footloose and I'm All Right were Danger Zone too, but Danger Zone didn't get as much radio play just regularly. You know what I mean? Like, it's not odd to hear I'm All Right and Footloose right now. And like, yeah, you will think of the movie, but those two songs stand alone on their own. Highway to the Danger Zone kind of like, it feels so much like a movie song that it's like whatever. But the other two, like, I know them from the movie, obviously, but like on their own, they're just good songs. You know what I mean? Like I'm All Right never mentions golf. It doesn't mention the characters from the movies. It's not like, on the nose or anything.
You know what's the only song I can think of that's above those in that exact respect right now? The only one that comes to mind. Eye of the Tiger by Survivor.
Without question.
Yeah. That song is like everything you just said. It's like it's the platonic ideal of all of that.
It's its own thing. Yeah. It's the number one montage song of all time. I guess because if I remember South Park used it, like any comedy that does like a comedy montage, they're going to use Eye of the Tiger or whatever. But dude, Kenny Loggins' run was unbelievable. And a lot of that, like Michael McDonald, it's crazy, like knowing that Michael McDonald is like the king of yacht rock. Whereas like when I was first introduced to the Doobie Brothers, it did not seem like it was going to go that way. You know what I mean? Like the Doobie Brothers very much had a Southern rock feel to them. And then there was this huge shift. And it's very clear that Michael McDonald was the one like pulling the strings. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. No, he's like, he's the poster
Pretty mama
boy.
Come and take me by the hand. Want a honky tonk. Like that's the Doobie Brothers. And that's what their sound was to me. And then he became,
and if you watch this, I mean, maybe you know this anyway, since you're just like a fan, you might have seen him in a bunch of interviews and stuff, but he's interviewed in the documentary in like present day. And he looks like George Lucas, bro.
Yes,
and
he does. He looks, and
he
just
also
like
kind of has a George Lucas sort of vibe to him too, which means like he's just sort of an old nerdy papaw. Like nothing about him screams
rock. I'm a generational talent.
Right. He's very self-deprecating the whole time. He talks about how his kids are like, because fucking Regulate by Warren G is a fucking Michael McDonald song.
Absolutely. And also,
he talks about his
also
kids.
riffs from Young Guns.
He says, yes, that's true. Yes. The opening screed or whatever you want to call it of that is from Young Guns. But, man, that movie hit so hard for me when I was a kid. But anyway.
Dude, I was just talking about it. Somebody brought it up about somebody on a podcast. It was my comic book group last night. Me and Chris Gethard were talking about it. I just watched Young Guns, like rewatched it as an adult. Fucking holds up, man. I think it's a great movie.
I've been actually meaning to rewatch it. So
it's great.
I'm going to up that on my priority list because, that was one of my favorites as a kid. But anyways, he was just talking about his kids. They're like, I can't even remember the name of his original song. What's the name of Michael McDonald's song that regulates the samples?
I can't remember.
Anyway, if that comes on, he said his kids are always like, Can we listen to the Warren G one instead? You know,
Right,
like
right.
yours is fucking lame. His hits, you know,
It's
like
wild.
that type of thing.
You know, there's that song, that Tupac. A lot of rappers did that in the '90s, where they would sample the whitest, gayest, whatever, like that Tupac song, da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na. That's just the way it is. Changes. And Changes is one of my favorite Tupac songs.
Awesome.
Like, it's awesome. But have you ever heard just the regular song that it's from?
Yeah.
It couldn't be more mayonnaise, vanilla. Like the fact that some producer was listening to that and was like, dude, this will go hard with Pac rapping over it.
So, yeah, that we talked before. I know I brought up Billy Squier on the show, and I didn't realize that, like, Billy Squier is like an icon in like the old
rap
hip hop
music
community and stuff because of like his like bass lines and stuff and how often they've been used in rap. And it's like he's hugely influential in the rap game. Billy Squier is. I looked up a list. I just want to read a few of them off of since we're shortly running low
Billy
on
Squier
time
probably
here.
made just as much money off of a Magic Stick than he did Stroke Me. You know what I mean?
So Billboard has a list top movie songs of all time. And there's already, I mean, maybe it's my age.
My Heart Will Go On is number one.
That's what I thought before I looked it up. That's what I was expecting to be number one, was My Heart Will Go On. I almost brought it up earlier when I brought up Eye of the Tiger, but I feel like it doesn't, I feel like it don't. Eye of the Tiger's like people, if someone's jogging down the street and you got your windows down, you just like play Eye of the Tiger for that person. You know what I mean? Like that, like it, I feel like My Heart Will Go On it didn't do that type of thing. Do you know what I mean?
I'm talking about ones that hit and encompass what the movie is. Although I would say Eye of the Tiger does that better.
That's what I'm saying. I was thinking, I almost said My Heart Will Go On until I thought of Eye of the Tiger, because I just feel like
I was also thinking Billboard chart.
I know, right? What they have, that's the other thing too. But this is on Billboard's website, but I guess maybe
rose, bitch. Kiss from a rose, bitch.
No. You're not. I'm glad you said that. This is not subjective. It's based on their charts. So it's literally like the ranking is based on highest charting for the longest amount of time. And so I guess I can't really bitch about it, since it's like an objective
list,
database thing. But number one is Diana Ross and Lionel Richie, Endless Love, from the movie Endless Love.
And also from the movie,
I don't know,
Happy Gilmore.
Oh, okay. At 9 weeks at number one in 1981. Number two, and I do remember this one being fucking big in the 90s, but I had forgotten about it. Everything I Do It For You by Bryan Adams from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
That was in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves?
It was for, you don't remember that?
What the fuck?
You didn't know that's where that song was from?
No.
Yeah, I did.
Dude, I hadn't seen that movie in a long time, and like I would have never in a million years guessed that goddamn song came from that movie.
Number three, Bee Gees, How Deep Is Your Love, from Saturday Night Fever. Saturday Night Fever. 3 weeks at number one in 1977. Number four.
But Night Fever didn't make it because they had the whole soundtrack. Night Fever, Night Fever.
Number four is Eye of the Tiger by Survivor from Rocky 3. Although this says
that was Rocky 3?
Yeah. Yeah,
wow.
I knew that too, but it said Stallone originally wanted to use Another One Bites the Dust for Rocky III's training montage, but Freddie Mercury wouldn't grant the license, so he turned to Survivor, who wrote Eye of the Tiger in part by timing the guitar and drum hits to coincide with Rocky's punches. It's a good change.
Really Dude,
it's a good change.
Yeah, man. It also makes it its own. If it was Another One Bites the Dust, it's not as iconic because that song was already
huge,
a thing. So this makes it like this is the Rocky song.
Number five, Irene Cara, Flashdance, What a Feeling, from Flashdance.
Boo.
Number six, Bee Gees, Night Fever, Saturday Night Fever.
Okay.
Number seven, I knew this one would be on here. Whitney Houston's version of "I Will Always Love You" from The Bodyguard. That song was absolutely fucking massive.
I figured that would be closer to the top.
I'm scanning. I ain't even got to. I'm skipping
Celine
through.
Dion
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm now scanning through here because I'm looking for Celine Dion. Post Malone and Sway Lee's Sunflower from Spider-Man Into the
Spider-Man. That song
Spider-Verse is
hits.
number 11. I love that fucking
I'm
song.
a big Post Malone fan, by
I
the
am
way.
too, man.
Unironically,
he's
the
like
country
he
shit,
seems like
the
a
rap
really,
stuff.
really rad dude.
Yes,
like,
he does.
He's just
Genuine.
like a sweetheart and like not
Yeah.
a fucking diva or a prick and
he loves
and
the
he's
business.
talented.
Like he likes music. I think he likes music more than he likes the fame it's brought him. I genuinely believe that.
I'm just going to do a couple more and we can get out of here. Number 13, iconic Coolio, Gangsta's Paradise from the movie Dangerous Minds.
That was Michelle Pfeiffer, right?
Michelle Pfeiffer got to reach these kids.
I got to reach the. Have you seen the South Park version of that? When
I
Cartman
think so.
plays her, it's so goddamn funny.
I think so. Let's see. Number 18, Prince, When Doves Cry from Purple Rain.
Oh, yeah, Purple Rain.
Let's see here.
Prince also did a Batman one.
What the fuck? Number 20. Something's wrong here. Number 20 is Celine Dion's Because You Loved Me from the movie Up Close and Personal.
No.
That's number
I've never
20.
Even heard of the movie or that song.
You don't know that song? The song's kind of a banger.
I'm sure it is. Celine Dion. I mean, dude, I'm sure I'd know it if I heard it, but I'm just saying, like, dude, my heart will go on.
Everything I am because you love me. You don't know that song?
Yeah. But dude, Titanic, biggest movie.
I know. I'm with you. I thought it was going to be number 1, and it ain't. I'm down to 20-7, and it ain't showed up. Something ain't right. I don't know. They had to. Number 30, Kenny Loggins' Footloose for Footloose. So let's see. Last one that I'm going to read. I skipped over a minute ago. Number 21, Eminem, Lose Yourself for 8 Mile. That's a damn good one. Anyway,
I figured that would be higher too, frankly.
Yeah,
because
that's another one that transcends the movie. You know,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's kind of the benchmark for me is when they transcend the movie that they're from. And
that movie came out in 2001, I believe, or something like that. And that was the year that we had 30 kids on our football team, 30 white, scrawny kids, meaning that we're all playing both sides of the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Our school had we'd won 4 games a year for like 10 years. And that was the year we went 9-1 and we were having this electric season and we played that song like before every game. And you talk about like, I'm very aware that life is better now as a 30-year-old and it's stupid to look back at the past. But if I could bottle the feeling of being padded up with my bros bumping, with the coaches bumping it too, like it was the coach's favorite song. You know, they knew all the words by the end. But the feeling of bumping that with my bros before we were about to go out and play, if I could bottle that feeling, I would not need Lexapro. You know what I mean? Like it was unbelievable. And you're right, that song totally transcends the movie.
Absolutely. Well, time to go. Y'all come. This weekend's the weekend. We lost Drew already, but all 3 of us, we won't be together at the same time. But Drew will be with me in Knoxville on Friday, and Joe will be with me in Chattanooga on Saturday. So again, the shows are sold out. So come down. You know, if you got the tickets, we'll see you there. And then if you're not in Tennessee, I got a bunch of other shit coming up: Houston and Oregon and San Diego and Vegas and Seattle and everywhere else at TraeCrowder.com. Also, a link to my new special, Trash Daddy, on there. So check that out. Buy a ticket. Come see me. It's all new material, but of course. So,
and ostensibly this will happen, but as we all know, you know, shit happens. Me and Trae, since we're going to be together, all you POA fans, hopefully you can expect a us together episode. But again, if it don't happen, it don't happen. But we will be together. We're gonna try.
Well, it ain't like I'm gonna. Isn't it? It's like an hour and a half, Knoxville, Chattanooga.
Yeah,
I
used to live there. I can't remember. Just as long as you can get
your
fat ass up.
I'll get down there at like noon, 30 or 1. So
either way, listen to Putting on Airs. That's the podcast where me and Trae, 2 hillbilly dipshits, talk about fancy stuff. Last week we talked about Catherine the not so great. This week I haven't actually. I got to get on the ball. But it's a wonderful show. You can also get merch at stayfancymerch.com. WeLoveCorey.com is where I do my bonus stuff. I just did a This Week in History, a 35-minute biographical podcast on the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. Super fun. Thank you all for listening to the WellRED Show. We'd love to stick around longer, but we got to go. Tune in next week if you got nothing to do. Oh, also, I've been streaming video games, so look out for that and join me on Twitch. Thank you. God bless you. Bye bye, Drew.
Fart.
Martin Luther King Jr. came into this world on January 15th, 1929, in a modest little house over on Auburn Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia. The South was still stuck in its same old sorrow, sweating under the weight of the sun and, of course, its sins. Sharecroppers bent their backs in fields they didn't own, the same fields their ancestors had once been chained to. Cotton still reigned king, and Jim Crow was sitting pretty on his throne, guarded by poll taxes and police batons. The courthouse steps might as well have been altars to segregation, unmoving, unchallenging, and of course, understood by all. And it wasn't just the South. All across America, folks danced through life like the music would never stop. Jazz clubs up north, moonshine down in the hollers, stocks soaring higher than a preacher's voice on Easter morning. Herbert Hoover had just taken office, all smiles and promises, but the floor was already crumbling beneath him. That same year, the Great Depression came crashing through like a hailstorm. Money gone, jobs gone, bread lines stretching down the block, banks falling apart like knockoff Sunday suits, and out in Oklahoma, the wind started sharpening its teeth, getting ready to scrape the land dry. The world outside our borders, that wasn't looking too kind either. Hitler, the failed painter with a broken heart full of hate, was sneaking his way into power while Germany unraveled. Britain was still stomping around Palestine like they owned it, planting seeds of unrest that would grow into generations of hurt. Stalin was locking up his own people and starving whole regions just to prove a point. Meanwhile, back home, Charles Lindbergh was America's golden boy with his head in the clouds, but the rest of us were being pulled into the dirt. Back in Georgia, things moved slow but stayed heavy. Black folks in Atlanta's colored neighborhoods were packed into tight homes, working their fingers to the bone, singing their children to sleep with church hymns and hard truths. The church wasn't just for Sundays. It was the school, the safe house, the stage, and the sanctuary. It was there in those wooden pews that young Martin first heard a preacher sing a sermon like a song, a voice full of heaven, his hands holding back hell itself. His daddy, Daddy King, was up there behind the pulpit at Ebenezer Baptist Church, preaching the gospel with the weight of a people's pain on his shoulders. That's the world Martin was born into, baptized not just with water, but with fire, fury, and a whole lot of sacred hope. And while that baby boy lay swaddled and unaware, the world had no idea what kind of force had just arrived. He was born into a country full of secrets, bootleg gin, bread lines, and back alley hangings. But one day, that same boy would stand tall and thunder out a message that would shake the ground. We can be better. We have to be. And Lord knows it was past time. And now for a more comprehensive breakdown, less poetic, of Dr. Martin Luther King's life. He was born January 15th, 1929.